Alright guys, can you hear me? Welcome. It's been a week, pretty slow week, but yeah, I was down in Sydney last week, so we might have some new people here, and welcome to them. But having been away for a week, we've got quite a few emails to go through. And so I'll start with the newest ones that have come in today and work my way backwards to the ones that sort of came in last week. So we've got the most relevant ones to cover first. We all happy with that? I'm sure you will be. Cool. I hope you're all okay anyway. All right. So got an email regarding phase 2 trading. It says, I don't know if I heard correctly or not, but did I hear you say that if a currency pair is clearly starting phase 2, although there was no divergence, we can go down to the lower time frames to participate once it is confirmed in the lower time frame, i.e. a cycle above or below the 50 EMA. This is correct. For example, during this period here, the pound was clearly in phase 2. Yeah, so if I delete that out of the way so we can have a look at it, there was no divergence here from this point on. And let me just say we're looking after this day here. That's when we're looking at it, because that's when we get the confirmation that we're in phase 2. So if we go down the time frames, we can look at that and see the cyclicity here. So this is when phase 2 started. This lower time frame action. No, I can't increase my voice. You increase the volume on your computer. This lower time frame action is only want the guys who are trading platinum. In fact, only you guys who are listening in on this will be able to trade the lower time frames. But we're obviously from this point on we're in phase 2 of the daily, and we're trading phase 1 on the hourly. So we get these opportunities on the hourly, and that's when we're taking those, because the trend is confirmed in the daily, we can go into the lower time frames. But we're only ever trading phase 1 on the 4 hour and the 1 hour. We only ever trade phase 1. We're not trading phase 2. Just pull back here. We're only ever trading phase 1 away from the moving average. Okay. Well, this one looks to be setting up, and you draw the Fibonacci from where price starts to rally, and we get a nice support of the 618. And you got this horizontal support line going across here, moving average support, RSI convergence. You could almost also suggest there's hidden divergence from those higher lows. We get lower RSI. And then there's convergence across here, so it's all looking pretty good. Can you clarify what stage it is clearly in phase 2? Because I know you shorted it quite early on. I shorted it early on because of news announcement, Carol. But the clarification of phase 2 is that the price must be coming from a point of exhaustion on your momentum indicators. So you're not wanting to trade, for example, here where there's no clear exhaustion. So it must be over 80 or under 20. Price must have touched that. You also want price to have reached your extension levels, 1.272, 618. And then you need to have 2 bars in the new direction. So 2 seller bars in the direction is the confirmation. So it's effectively on this day that you're looking at it, and you get this rally here, and that would have given you the opportunity to potentially short that period there. Do we do a trend reversal checklist on the daily? Yes. So when trading the shorter time frames, you've got to do your checklist on the daily setup, and then I'll do your checklist on the hourly setup. So there's two checklists to do. You need to make sure that and confirm that the trend is the new trend is happening, or a trend is happening and is in place, and rate that trend in terms of this numbers on your checklist, and then go down and do the shorter time frame and do that checklist as well. So this one you wouldn't have traded because there's no divergence, but there was a clear reason for it to reverse off $1.70, which is a very strong resistance level. Okay. You're in pound long. There is news items this evening. What capital protection strategy should I take? Should I get out of the trade, or move the stop up? Well, you had a reason yesterday to move your stop up with this test bar. If you're nervous about the news, I don't think the news is going to be hugely affecting the market in a huge way. I don't see this as changing, although if it does, then the pound will only get stronger. And retail sales is not a hugely volatile figure, so I don't see much happening tonight in the pound. Right now, do you have a reason to move your stop? No, because it's an engulfing bar. Okay, it's an engulfing bar. It's a buy bar, yes, but it's an engulfing bar, so it's no real clear indication that there's risk involved in that, and we may not need to move our stop, or you shouldn't be moving your stop on that. That's not one of the reasons, but this test bar was, so you could have moved your stop, or should have moved your stop yesterday. Geez, more questions coming online than I do emails. Come on, guys. I like the long setup, but my order expired on the Monday, and I didn't put another order in yesterday. Was that a mistake? Not potentially. Look, the concern I have with this, and I'm traded this on the shorter time frame so I can get a better risk reward. My major concern was this, you're looking at 120 pip risk, massive resistance at $1.70, which is 150 pips away, so it's 1-to-1 risk reward. Not that rat with 1-to-1 risk reward, as you guys should know by now, but all you need to do is look at $1.70 through time and see how often it gets hit on the cable. You can see that massive resistance. So are we going to get through it this time? We will if they start to indicate a change in rates, but otherwise I don't see that. And with the strong housing market that Carney's concerned about, a raise in rates will put the kibosh onto that. Could you confirm that we need to see divergence at the end of phase 1 to trade phase 2? Yes, absolutely. You need to see divergence. It's a must-have on your checklist. To have bought pound, would you be saying that $1.07 can be broken and not rejected again? No, I've waited and gone in on the shorter time frames. There's a clear buying here. You could look at that on the hourly there. We're obviously in a trend. And therefore your risk reward is going to be, your risk is going to be 15-20 pips. If that's where you place your stop, my stop's under here. So, $1.70 is quite strong. All right. So the next one is Aussie dollar. So same scenario with the Aussie. It's now rejected 94 strongly, but I was thinking, how could I get in on it to complete a checklist on the daily? Then we'd be using a trend reversal checklist. Yeah, so you didn't make higher highs, so it was a little tricky to try and trade as a phase 2, and your risk reward wouldn't have been strong for a phase 2 trade either. trading on the daily time frame, you need to see the cycle underneath the 50 EMA before you can even get into it. Is that my screen, or is that you've liquid papered that out or something? That's on my screen. No, it's on your screen. Yeah, so your risk reward here would not have been great, and you would not have been looking at really entering short there. You need to wait for the cycle underneath. But now you can look at, we've got an established trend here, bit of support there, and then it's overdone. Yeah, I'd just be leaving it alone for this time. But RSI divergence, Class C, fib extensions. No, you don't have fib extensions. That's a fib retracement level. 786 is fib retracement. Yeah, it's retracing this phase 2. Whilst that's you could potentially say that's a resistance level, it's certainly not an extension. On the 15th, when the teller bar closed, I had noticed the class, would I really be placing an order below that bar? 93.20 with a stop loss above 94, targeting the next level, which I have is 90.85. At this stage, I was simply thinking this pair was still making higher highs and higher lows. Well, no, it wasn't. And it's only with hindsight that I can see an entry. We had also seen this divergence before around on the 3rd of April. The price failed to fall at that point. So my question is, at what stage could we have shorted this pair, if not then? At what stage? Well, we haven't got to that stage where we can short it. Yeah. Would it be after seeing that lower low on the 4-hour 15th bar? No, you're not seeing it. What we're seeing here is the failure of this high to make a higher high is the first signal that the downtrend or this uptrend is potentially not going to work. But the next thing we've got to break is that low, make a lower low there, and then the cyclicity of this market is over and done with. Okay, and to be looking at a new downtrend. And in breaking that low, we will be getting the cycle underneath the EMA. And it's once that first cycle underneath the EMA is complete, that's when we're looking at taking a longer trades, or taking short trades, sorry. But at this stage, there has been no entry. I mean, there's this bar here wouldn't have given you one. There isn't, there was no divergence over here either, so there's no entry. But there's plenty of opportunities to trade this on the shorter time frame. In this instance, there isn't. Now the momentum is oversold on the downside on the daily, so you're not going to be looking to get short here. That'll be just suicide. Even on the hourly chart, you're not going to do that. So at this point, you just leave it alone. If it comes back up and tests these levels, you might look to get short then. But quite literally, you need to see a break of this low before you start even going anywhere near it. Okay. I didn't wait that long with the pound. Okay, I told you that the pound was not a strategy that I teach. It was purely trading off the news. That was all. So forget about what I did in the pound. I was not sticking to the rules, basically. I wasn't. The pound trade, as I said, it was purely a news trade. The news item came out, I think it was around here somewhere, and that I shorted it, and it was off a news announcement that I thought was bearish for the pound. And that was in here somewhere that happened. So we'd already rejected the $1.70 price level, and then I got in. It's not the ideal entry. Okay, so yeah, try and forget about what I did in the pound, because I was breaking all the rules. All right, so that's that one. Next one. This is a pound document. Okay. And chart. Okay. So trade not placed but interested in your input on the analysis pending to go. My concern is the risk reward is not great, correct, and stop loss position, and is stop loss position correct? Also wanted to check the fib. Fib is perfect. Yep, fib is perfect. Not from this bar here, but from where the buying started from, which is there. Don't know what this line is. Well, it's similar to where mine is, but yeah, around 68.20, somewhere like that. Want to see if any document that works for, okay, yeah, works fine the way you've done it. There's your image. I can't see your stop loss, but let's have a look at the document one, put it in there. Stop loss is 67.90. 67.90. No, your stop loss should be at under here, so 67.20. 67.90. Not sure why you would have gone there. But no, your stop loss should be, this is obviously the strongest area of support, so that's where your stop should be, underneath that, around 67.15, something like that. Okay. So that's way too close. Yes, horizontals. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's all good. It's all good. This, yeah, that's my concern as well, and that even gets even worse when you actually have the stop in the right place. But so that's reasonable assumption is to stay away from that. That's good. Okay. Okay. Would you mind looking at the two analysis I've done and let me know if I'm on the right track or not, please? They are in the Word doc. They are in Word documents, which is how I'm doing them for my own information. Cool. That's all good. I'm in the pound trade. I got in earlier than you did on my MDA account, so I'm wondering if I took too much of a risk doing that. It's another Axie trader. Okay, let's have a look at the pound one. Pound. Daily. Okay, I'm not sure. Higher highs, yes, we're getting that. Fib I would have gone from the low of this bar here, as you would have seen. Test bar on the start of phase one, awaiting close for next bar. Close to the seller bar, awaiting, entered on 68.15. Not moving, could go either way, wait for today's bar, the high test bullish bar, high test bullish bar. They stop below. It's not bullish, a high test is a bearish bar. I'm sure you got in a little early. Where did you get in? You said you got in at what, 68.15. Okay, so you got in above this bar. This to me is, is not strong enough. Going in above this bar would be. It ends up being a bearish bar. That's bearish. It is a higher high and a higher low, but it's full of sellers as it closed on the low. This is only just a buyer bar, but it's an engulfing bar. But this bar here could give you reason to move your stop and leave it underneath there. I think getting it, this is pretty aggressive getting in this early above this bar here. This is not exactly full of bullish intent, even though it's where we expect it to turn. I don't think that's, you need to actually see the buying there. So going up here, you would have seen the buying. Obviously, that came in on news announcement last, I think during the CPI data yesterday. Or was it this one here that triggered us in? Around here, this might have been the one that triggered us in. But that's the analysis is good. I'm just a little concerned about getting in a bit early. We got away with it this time, but this may not always be the case. And yeah, that's a bearish, not bullish. Otherwise, that's all good. Not moving. Wait for today's bar. Yeah. Leave stop below test bar. I don't know. If you're seeing this as a test bar, I'd borderline. I haven't measured it, but this bar here is 05 to 30, so it's 75 pips. Half of 75 is what, 37 basically. So it's 67, 68, and it opened at, where did it open? Opened at 66, so literally 1 pip underneath the halfway point. So it's technically not a test bar, whereas these two are test bars, and they're sell test bars, which is bearish, or high test bars, which is bearish. Okay, so otherwise that's good. Your Euro Aussie, waiting more analysis tonight. Low test bar about to enter phase 2. Wait for pullback, reversal bar, yeah. Extended bullish bar. Got the fib in the right place. Okay, I too am waiting for this. Lower highs below the moving averages. Below the moving averages, only one of them. You don't give it a point if it's only one of them. We don't know if it's getting resistance yet. Horizontal resistance. No. I hope you're not looking at getting in here, because we need to see the sellers, right? It's setting up as a high test bar at the moment, but that's, we don't know where this bar is going to finish. We've got hours and hours before this bar finishes. But yes, I too am waiting for this. So I need to see this bar finish and then a bar of selling to give us that ring high formation to go short. This lightly dotted red line that you can see is just a minus of resistance line that I've got just literally for this period of time here. There's no other price supporting that. You can see it's not that strong, but it's a soft horizontal, whereas this thick red one is a strong horizontal. So yeah, I'm looking for this to set up for a short trade, but we need to see the selling intention, and another day of that is what we require. Or first we need to wait for this bar to finish. I'm looking to go short, yeah. Cool. Yeah, good. It's all good. Okay. Moving along. Kiwi and Aussie CAD. I wanted to clarify if there was a way to trade these pairs yesterday or maybe even earlier. Okay. Aussie CAD. Why do you keep doing that? That's really annoying. No, there's, like the Aussie, there's no entry. There's no possible entry. This is just a mess. There's no clear cyclicity. This test bar should have made a higher high if that was a real phase 1, and it's not. So now you're looking for a cycle underneath. You're looking at the hourly, okay, but you've got to look at the daily first. Okay, you've got to have a strong trend in the daily first. And is this a strong trend? No, it wasn't really a strong trend until it sort of broke through that this support line here. Yeah, there's a couple of days of selling, but you don't know what it's going to be doing on the daily, and therefore your alley, you can get into the alley and you might just get in on the alley and it gets monstered. Okay, so there's no potential early entry there. And the Kiwi, it's doing its phase 2. This friggin' income generator. I don't know what the... Oh no, it's a snake down, isn't it? Snake down. Delete. You know, we are still making higher highs in this. So at this point, you'll be looking for a potential long setup if we see some buying intention in the next day or so. So I think you're trying to look at things that in retrospect and say, oh, you know, there's a missed opportunity. And it's easy to go back in hindsight. We've got clear rules around this, is that there must be a trend in the daily time frame, and if we've missed it, then we can participate in it. Okay, so something that might be trending that you might want to look at is this one. This is one I'm looking at. We've got a clear trend. There is divergence here in RSI, but if you look at, let's say that's the uptrend, well then we're not yet in oversold territory. So there could be still some selling to go. And there's clear selling off a ring higher. If we do our fib off this one, you got the 618. So that's the sort of thing that you should be looking at. Okay. Yeah, not looking at saying, oh, there's an opportunity, because there's nothing there. This is just all mess. There might have been an opportunity in here, but again, that would have been limited. In the Aussie CAD, there was just nothing. What else might be trending? I mean, the Euro Aussie is obviously trending. The Pound Aussie is also trending, and there may have been opportunities. Freaking template. I really want to know how to fix you. It's now trending too far. It's gone. Where's my Euro CAD? Here there was no divergence, right? Here's something that there's no divergence, but you could be looking at this as saying, well, we've found a bit of a support level here. There's phase 2 should be coming. We're getting buying with inside buyer bar, a bullish, well, strong buyer bar. I don't know if it's bullish. I have to measure it. And so then we look at okay, so now we need to get a cycle on the hourly, and then we can go along with it. So set this one up. Let's try and find some opportunities in here on the hourly, somewhere around here. I prefer to be short this, but and that's what I'm waiting for, is a shorting opportunity. But in the meantime, there could be a little pullback here that we could participate in. I hope that sort of makes a bit more sense. Okay. Pound. I have a question in regard to trade management of the below trade. I've seen 2 high test bars, but the second bar has taken out the high of the previous day and still waiting on that to close. Should I be looking to tighten my stop and there's been not enough movement yet to make a decision? This is on the pound. As I've mentioned, it's this bar here was your your trade bar, but also you could, once it, it may have got you in at some point during the that bar's life, but once that bar expired, you could move your stops underneath that because it is a high test bar. This bar is also a high test bar, but you're looking to go in above that, and you may got triggered in by the spread, or I think it may have been by the spread. But you're into the trade, so there you have a test bar, and that's one of the reasons you can move your stop. And so you move your stop there, which would significantly halve the risk that you're exposed to. And yeah, now you're engulfing bar and waiting for it to take off. You've got to wait for the bar to finish before you make the decision. That's on any time frame you're trading on, whether it's 4 hour, 1 hour, or daily. Wait for the bar to finish before you make your decision. I had Pound Sing. Interesting choice. Entry. I don't know about this one. Higher highs and higher lows. Well, that you're not getting. And this trend line here clearly says that you're not getting higher highs. This one here failed to make that high, and so it's broken it down, and it's failed to even beat that high, so it's broken down again. And each time it moves away from the EMA, it fails to make a higher high. So that's no, big no-no. Above the EMAs, well, yeah, you are. EMA support, yeah. Horizontal support, okay. Bullish price action. Fib retracement, this is, look, if you can't have that. That's almost a double bottom, so you can't say fib retracement. You don't have fib support. If it had stopped on the 61, somewhere in here, yeah, but no, that doesn't work. Trend line support, I'll have to believe you because I can't see your two touches prior to that. Bullish chart price action, no. Bullish chart price action would mean that it breaks out of this, above this trend line, making higher highs, comes back and tests it over here, and then you look to go long. That's a bullish chart price action. Your other comment, but you don't give me a chart, is that you're looking to go long above this congestion. You need a bit more of a reason than just the congestion. Okay, a reason might be that you're in a range. The 200 EMA is flat, and you say, well, I'm in a range, and there's my extension level, and I've got a support line across here. Yeah, I've got a support line here, and you need to go and check if that's strong or weak. But that's just trading the congestion is not something I would advocate. And if you're going to do it, I'd need to see a checklist. Like I don't mind you guys trading trading things that are profitable for you, but I need to see that you're doing the analysis and doing checklists like this. So then when things turn to shit, we can go and analyze how that turned to shit. What trades were the ones that failed for you, and what was the reasoning behind those trades. And if you can't make that argument, then we need to discuss your approach to trading other people's money. Okay, trade idea for today. This is still this morning's, oh no, sorry, this came in yesterday lunchtime. Dollar yen long reversal. This is having a debate is whether this is a range reversal or a trend reversal. I would suggest more of a range. Although you could say there's a cycle and you're making lower lows. Yeah, I can see your argument there. But if that's the case, there's no divergence here. Yeah, there's still no divergence. Yeah. So there's no divergence, so there's nothing there yet, mate. Pound entered the trade yesterday, moved the stop a little further than my normal pips, underneath $1.68. Yeah, fair enough. CPI data, well, that's helped your trade, so it was good strong CPI data. Other ideas, waiting for the EuroCAD CAD Swiss to come back. Yeah. What I saw in the Euro Aussie is there's a head and shoulder pattern, and then there's another head and shoulder pattern. All right, let me just take that off. Most of you are probably aware of this head and shoulder pattern. Yeah. With the retest and that. If you look at the weekly, let's have a look what's happening here. So this was the head and shoulder pattern that on the daily that we traded, and looked to trade. But here we have a shoulder, a head, and another shoulder forming. So we're also got this forming on the weekly, and a huge, huge sort of pattern there. Okay. Something of interest. This means that it could be, if that trades, we had this, when we had the head and shoulder, inverse head and shoulder pattern, we had this 2,000 pip run, and you could be looking at, let's say that's the neckline across here, 1,600 pips, and a 3,000 pip run to the downside. Just saying, keep an eye on it. Right. Feedback on my analysis for a trade I did not enter. Okay. It's a pretty bright blue. Okay. Fibs. You want your fib down here. Okay. This is the. I know you're probably looking at this and going, well, isn't that a phase 2? Yeah, but this was last time it was on the 50 MA. So I'd go from there. You also didn't notice the hidden divergence. You've got to be looking at that. Yeah. Otherwise, everything is there. It's good. This trend line. I'm not sure certain about that. If you're going to draw the trend line, you go from the outside there to the outside there, or worst case scenario to that there. There might even be a longer one there. One, two, three, 4 touches. What's that Elliott wave stuff? Wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You certainly got 1, 2, 3, 4 waves. Okay, sorry, I digress. Otherwise, yeah, Fibonacci, just pull that back, and you didn't. There was no RSI divergence, so there was convergence, correct, but there was also bullish hidden divergence. See, what do you mean more now? 6. What do you mean 6? 6 what? I thought Elliott waves went in 5 waves. Yeah, so do I. But now you're in the start of the 6th. So, oh, sorry, Elliott. I think Elliott waves, don't they? They count the wave up as wave 1 and the wave back down as wave 2, wave 1, wave 2, you know. I did do Elliott waves back in the early 90s and haven't revisited, so you know, I'm not that strong on them. Alright. But yeah, I thought there was 5 too. Okay, moving on, we're at another person looking at the cable. Not seeing a lot of bullish price action. No, that's not yet. Oh, it's a Word document. Okay. Higher highs above the EMAs, EMA support, horizontal, RSI convergence, bullish price action. Retracement support. You've given it a 0, but if you actually drew the fib, you'd see it. If you have a look at the way I've done it earlier. Any resistance in the way? Yeah, big time. So you can't give that any points because, you know, there's $1.70 is huge resistance, so you can't give that any points, right? That should be 0. Hidden divergence. Yes, there was. Absolutely there was. If you look at from here, where the phase 1 started from, you've got divergence. Seasonal bullish, yeah, don't know. I don't really look at it. 4-hour entry, you're not doing it. Okay, so hidden divergence, you're given a 0 when that should be a 1. Resistance, you're given it a 1 when it should be a 0. There is big resistance there. Trend line support, well, that's only 2 touches. Given that a 1, and there's only 2 touches there. There is trend line support, but this is not, you know, got to have the third trade on the 3rd touch. So that trend line's wrong. Fib retracement, you haven't drawn it in there, but that is there. The 618 nicely. Bullish price action. There's no, look, you're getting higher highs and higher lows. It's not exactly bullish, but there's buying intention there. And you know, I had this bar when, if it was looking like this, like that, hey, stop. You know, if you're looking at it like that, you'd say, well, if to get a new high, you've got to have the buying intention there to get a new high. So that's where I'll, you know, I'd like to go in at. Okay, so a bit yet to work on there. Well, I've closed it down. Yeah, a bit to work on. Okay. Last week's prop training, you showed how to filter one currency with previous results, giving a visual indication of the trend in the economy. How to filter in the Forex Factory. Okay. Sure. Forex Factory. Bring up your Forex Factory. Go to the top of the page. Yeah. Go to the top of the page. This button here should say filter when you put your mouse on it. But if you put that there, you can then just say untick. Say none. And let's say we want to just look at Canadian. Yeah. So we just want the CAD, all events, yeah, all event types, or you could just say, let's go, yeah, let's just stick with the CAD for the time being and go apply filter, and that gives all the CAD announcements this week. But if you go to this month, you'll see what's been out so far this month. Trade balance, Ivy, building permits, a bit of an issue. Housing starts, those on the other side of that. Employment is that was a bit of a shocker. Manufacturing's picking up. And then if you go last month, you can see that, okay, employment was strong employment, getting stronger. So these are the that's the way to sort of filter and have a look at what's been going on. Another thing is, if you look at this month's, so this employment, which was a shocker, you can also have a look at the graph and say, well, what's it been doing for the last anyway, this will show you the history of unemployment change. Okay, the other thing I wanted to show you is that you could also, which is important because we tick all of them, right? But then we just go central bank and maybe speeches. So you want to see, because these two, the central bankers are the ones that matter the most, right? So if we then apply a filter, we're looking at this month. The central bank's announcements are the biggest potential movement on the any currency pair. So here we're just looking at central bankers, and we can go, okay, well, just they're a bit active, aren't they? Here we are today, with the BOJ and MPC. So that's the filter. Okay. Pound Aussie. I had a non-prop bet, lower high, no good support on this, based more on fundamentals, but the order didn't trigger on Friday and I didn't re-enter order. Are there any guidelines about when to re-enter orders? Pound Aussie. Pound Aussie. You wanted to go long on Friday, did you? I don't know, but low good support. Lower high. Don't know what time frame. Lower high. Look, re-enter your orders. It's a bit hard on. If you're up early on a Saturday morning, you can do it before 7 a.m. Otherwise, you need to wait until sort of 7 on Monday morning to place your order. And replacing the order, you need to be able to see the sentiment in that marketplace. So, I'm just trying to think where there was an inside bar. It might have been. Let's have a look at this one. Off you. Not seeing it, but if you're seeing the sentiment, if it's an inside bar, or as long as the sentiment there is there, that the buyers are ruling when you expect to see them, then that's when you can replace your order. Okay, I hope that sort of answers your question, mate. I don't see what you're trying to do here. Okay. Alright, pound on the 19th. So we're back to on Monday. Seeing that one. 19th of the pound. Okay. Yeah, the fib is better if you go off this one here. I do have questions about your analysis. All right? Analysis price did drop through, which was a buyer bar. Can this still be counted as support from the EMA? Yep. You know, support lines or support, you don't have, you know, market's not a perfect world. It's not going to touch the 50 and immediately reject it. You know, but that's the fact that it closed above it is an indication that there's support there. So it's come down, tried to push through to the other side, failed to do so. Buyers came back in and pushed it up. So yes, that's support. Placed a horizontal line at 67.55. I can't see that. I can see 67.31. As looking back at the monthly, there's been a resistance line, and recently looks like it could be a support line. Now, if I placed it correctly, as I said, I don't see it. This one, $1.70, is clear. Monthly 67.55. I mean, if you look at that high there, is 67.44. So, you know, I'll be looking at something like across that, those highs there, those 67.55. Okay, yeah, well, that makes sense. 67.59, so you might, it's close enough. Although you've got 67.31 there. So yes, it is. You've written the right price, but haven't put it on the chart. Not 100% if it's bullish price action. Yeah, I explained that earlier in the course. Sorry, the webinar. Is my fib place? Yeah, I would have gone off this bar here, not this one. Okay, because this is where the buying action started for this move. So I'd be going there to there, and we got perfect touch of the 61. Good. Okay, next one is risk profile. I think this is great. Two comments I would make on it is you're going under 5. I understand what you're trying to say is like, you know, if you do go down 5, then there's a, you know, you're going down further into risk, and then therefore you know, you should be reducing it. I understand conceptually what you're trying to do, but I would reset at 5. The account gets reset at 5, and it's, you need to be clearing your thinking that you're already down 5, and so it allows you to open up and you know, do risk 1%, and so that you can get you know, 2 or 3% return on the trade, and in that, then you know, that's paying off that first 5 down, because we won't pay you until that 5's you've clawed back that 5%. So I saw this previously, and you sort of said you're going to risk some at 5. I'd stop here, you know, and move these up a bit and spread them out across the 5 lots rather than, you know, down to 10. That's my first comment. And yeah, I hope we don't need to worry about beyond 5, but you know, that's my thought process. The second thing is you might look to do, you know, make these positive negative on this, in this exposure. In the sum of it, I don't know if that's the case, but so here, for example, you're long the pound for 0.5%, means you're short the US for 0.5%. So if you then go shorting the Aussie, you're not actually, you're net zero against the US if you short the Aussie for 0.5%. Yeah, so you'd be net zero the US, and I think that should be reflected in your exposure. So then, you're not breaking this currency, your max currency risk, if that makes sense. Yeah. Otherwise, this is great, and I think people should be doing something similar in terms of having a clear understanding of what their risk is, because that's 90% of trading is managing your risk. Cool. And yeah, you've given me included the spreadsheet if you're interested in how I calculate it. Okay. Yeah. Pound, could you please appraise, yeah, appraise your 19th, it's 19, that's your checklist. What happened here? Where's your picture gone? No, open your picture. I don't know what happened to your picture. Huh. Okay, this is your analysis. I don't know, I got lost here somewhere. Alright, alright. Stuff something up. Looking at the wrong person's analysis. As I said, this fib should be here. There is trendline support. I presume this is your third or later touch. Don't know what this red one is. Probably just another one. Your 67.31. Yeah, as I mentioned, it should be 67.55. I'm concerned I missed that bloke's email now. So I'll just do yours and finish it off. Horizontal above support, horizontal support, convergence, bullish pricing, hidden divergence. Well, there's hidden divergence there, mate. And yes, you don't give that a point. That's good. I'm glad you picked that up. Trend line, yeah. Fib retracement, cool. And yeah, just the hidden divergence, I would have said. Risk 0.25, cool. That's great. Good stuff. Vast improvement, mate, from when we first was getting these from you. Vast improvement. Right, let me go and see what I've done with that other bloke's. Where was it? Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to find this guy's email now. Now I can't even find the email. That doesn't make sense. I've completely lost that email. I don't know what was there 2 seconds ago. Anyway, if you know what on the analysis, if I haven't covered it, email me and I'll do it tomorrow. I do apologise. Okay. Maybe this was the one you were talking about. Well, fib should be off this one here, 67.55. Okay. Maybe this is the one. Good stuff. Yeah, that's all good. Okay. Hidden divergence. If you go from this one here where you've drawn your fib, you've got a hidden divergence here. High highs, finding support. Hard at $1.70. Yep, that's all good. Yep. Okay. So we're getting back into email here. Cable back to $1.70 for a retest on today's break. 68.40. Yeah, semi-divergence, hidden divergence here. That's all true, mate. But I want to see a chart of. I want to see a chart of your analysis. Okay. All right. Cable. Cycle above the 50 MA. Yeah, there's sort of a little cycle underneath it, and then a cycle above it, and that's why I didn't buy into it, into the cable here, because it wasn't making higher highs. But now you're sort of looking at it, yeah, the trend line, this target here, the 618 is potentially valid, but if this channel is true, surely it'd be up there. Would be kind of your target closer to the 2 level rather than the 1.618. Obviously, the biggest point of concern is this $1.70 here. Yours says 70.50. Don't know why. These signals supreme ability to be painful. On the 70.05. Okay, so yeah, that's. It's 50 pips. I don't think it's 50 pips away. If you look at the 70.41, okay, it is 50 pips. That's sort of closer to $1.70. But anyway, it all looks good. Cool. Finally got my setup. Yeah. A setup. Don't know if it's my setup, but a setup. Okay, this is definitely from last week. Some trade analysis during the seminar last week. This came in on Friday afternoon. Euro Aussie going long and the pound. Okay, so let's have a look at the Euro Aussie one. Trend reversal. Okay. Your fib is correct, and I presume this is a strong horizontal, although I haven't looked at it. But the biggest thing I can see here, or the concern, is there's no divergence. All right, you've got RSI divergence. There is none. Yes, it's diverting from this low. This low here is lower than this one. and RSI is higher. It is the kind of divergence, but what you need to be seeing is the move. This move here needs to be weakening. It's this that you try to trade against. It's not necessarily the larger trend that you're trying to trade against. When you're trading phase 2, you're trading just against this phase 1 here. So it's this you need to see the divergence. And this is all convergence, prices making lower lows, still making lower lows, still making lower lows. Now it's making higher lows. So this is all convergence. You need to see clear divergence, and just like across here, prices making lower lows, prices making lower lows, prices making lower lows, but we're making higher lows in RSI. So that's the divergence, and it's against that phase 1 that you're seeing that divergence, and you're looking to take a phase 2 trade. Here there was none, so I disagree with your divergence here. Okay. Yeah, and there's that head and shoulder which we identified in the course last week. Okay, your cable trade going long. Yeah, you got everything there. You didn't pick up on the hidden divergence, and I think you're going in a little too early on that bar. You need to see that second bar. So the trade was yesterday, but otherwise this is. You can't say yes to that unless you're saying yes, there is resistance, but you can't give that a 9 out of 9 when there's that big resistance at $1.70. Okay. If you got E signal, you can go way back. You can go back a hell of a lot further than I can on this. I mean, I've got E signal too, and I can open it up. But if you look at the monthly, this says $1.70.50, but if you put it at $1.70, you get a lot more touches than $1.70.50, and this is going. Oh, this goes back to the 90s. That's all right. Yeah, a lot of work is done on this $1.70. So you need to be aware of that. Make sure that you're getting in the right risk reward. So I wouldn't have been giving it a 9. You need to check that resistance level. Otherwise, all good. Okay. How are we doing there, guys? You still there? Riveted? All right. Analysis. Going around in circles and finding more reasons not to trade. Consequently, one was searching too many obstacles to fit through new pairs in the 9th of May, for example. This pair you said wait for the cycle to complete above the EMA before taking. I took this, and now I think yes, the cycle looks like it's complete. When did this come in? Friday. The outer size. Aussie Kiwi. On the 9th of May, I said you need to see a cycle above it. Yeah, we are getting, there is that kind of cycle above it. It looks pretty poor and messy. When you compare that to something like, I don't know, look at the pound, for example, when you can see that cyclicity and you're getting the higher highs, in a good trending market, that's what you want to be seeing. And with this Aussie Kiwi, there's no, it's trying to, looks like it's trying to turn from a downtrend to an uptrend, and it's just struggling to do that. So, this cycle above, ideally you would want to see it higher than this. But we may not get that. We've done a cycle underneath, and now we've done a cycle above it. If there's a buying setup, then that's what we're looking for. It looks to be a ring low on the daily. You sent this on Friday. Monday, yeah, potentially. There's a ring low there. And you could have looked at that. You need a bit of a support line. It's a bit weak where that is. If you've drawn your fibs. Yeah, the 618 you could have been saying was giving you support. I hope you didn't get triggered in, but that's what everything else is there. The daily chart said you'll be supported by the 4 hour. I don't give a shit. The 4 hour is nothing compared to the daily. The daily is the strongest, right? Don't be looking at the 4 hour for support on the daily. Some of this could be a long trade depending on what happens today with a possible entry, right? And so it doesn't give you, this only gives a risk reward of 1.6. Okay. If you're saying this resistance at 109 is too strong, then yeah, it probably would. I think you kind of are possibly looking at too many. I don't know if it happens so many times. There's always trading opportunities. And you could be saying, well, there's a cycle there, and this is yet to be finished. Look, I don't think this is a great setup. There's better opportunities elsewhere, and I'd be leaving it alone at this point. I do think it's going to go a lot higher, but it's not ready for us to trade it. Yeah, don't get confused by the 4 hour. If you're looking at the daily, stay on the daily. Don't worry about what the 4 hour's doing. It seems to be support from the 50 fib if I have it in the right place. Going back to this, that's where you should be looking at. And yeah, there's clear opportunities quite often if you look at things like the Euro Aussie. There's a clear opportunity there. Not sure if you took that or not, but there's plenty, and they're setting up for another one. Webinars, when available, when I record them, sorry, I am recording this one, so that's all good. Relate to more questions from your new students. Well, the new students are the ones that are sending me the questions in. I'll answer any question that comes in, whether you've been here a year, 2 years, or 2 seconds. Then I see the trend line from June last year and think this, yeah, I mean, you look at the bigger picture and you go, this Aussie Kiwi has huge support down here, 105, has had a massive downtrend, is trying to turn that around, and it'll get back up here at some stage in life. It's not going to be here for the rest of its career, but it's just fart-assing about and trying to do that. And I don't think I tried to get, I bought it in here, and I also bought it in here. One was a winner, one was a loss. Okay, I'm now leaving it alone until I see some clear opportunity in that. I don't see it there. So I agree with you that there's, if you start seeing too many bogeymen, then walk away from it. But also you don't want to be walking away from everything. But the trades should be clear, I think. Things like the Euro Aussie, the Euro CAD from a fundamental point of view. The Euro Aussie looks pretty clear. And if we get a seller bar tomorrow, what's today, Tuesday, Wednesday, there might be a trade Thursday morning on this one. Yeah. And fundamentally, I want to be short Euro. I think the Aussie's probably weaker too, but I think the Euro will shit itself quicker than the Aussie will. mean, looking at that trend line, you could say that that's a potentially thing. I kind of get the feeling, mate, that you're getting married to this trade or this concept that this is going to be going longer. You know, off this trend line, you know, it's going shorter. You're getting married to the trade and missing out on plenty of other opportunities out there. If you're not trading anything else and you're just focusing on this. Yeah. Perhaps you can, you know, come in and see Mark. Mark was brilliant. The new coach at in the Sydney office. I think you could do well by having a couple of sessions with him, and he will be able to assist you with that. Okay. Down to the last 3 or 4. Aussie Sing. Aussie Sing 4 hour. When was this, Friday? How'd that end out for you? I think it would have gone very well. So it's in here. Let's have a look. Analysis. Daily. Risk reward. Eight. Okay. Everything's there. Then your 4 hour. Then your 4 hour. Wouldn't have got anywhere near it. The Aussie started tanking. Made a first attempt at an intraday analysis. Now that I understand it, I've attached a previous qualified daily analysis, good, and then new 4 hour analysis, good. The reason I was stopped out was that I was being super conservative with my stops since I'm in a drawdown. Otherwise, if I was moving a stop on a reversal, I'd still be in it. I think it's still in phase 1. So I look for a setup on the 4 hour now. No, RSI was a bit lower than you recommend, but since it's my first analysis, I thought it was worth trying with a small lot size. Okay. Obviously, the Aussie got a bit of a touch up over the last 2 days, so Monday and Friday, and so you should have got out, but a little bit choppy here. Again, I think the better trending currency pair could have been found than this one. So you got in there. Did you get in here? Yeah, the reversal bar should have protected your stop. Is that where you got in? Must have been. Yeah, you got in on this bar. This, to me, this is pretty scrappy crap. I can't fault your analysis. I do think doing a risk, you know, maybe even less than that to start with. But this is, to me, is not all that crash hot and clear. Yeah. If I find one the next couple of days, I'll certainly email them out to you and let you guys know if I see anything, what I would consider a decent 4 hour trade. Okay. Last one with analysis is pound. What the hell is this? How do you see this? Trendline support. No, that's not trendline support. This is your 50 EMA, yeah? Listen to this. This is need your help. Okay. Get some advice. This came in on Wednesday last week. All right. On the 15th. Yeah. Still trying to get my head around these charts, and well, it's very difficult to see it when you've got that much information on. Try taking all the stuff off your screen and have a look at what you can see, and shorten the stuff up so you can see the bigger picture. Use these buttons here, yeah, zoom out, zoom in. I believe it is in an uptrend. There's RSI, I believe it is at the end of phase 2. It is above the 50 EMA. I feel it could be a potentially traded long. Right, well, you've seen what's happened, right, since you sent this. What you're not seeing here, well, one of the trend lines in the wrong position, and you should go and have a look at, we've discussed this particular setup a few times. You should also be drawing your Fibonacci, from this point here and say, well, do we have Fib support? Are we anywhere near that, or are we still in the 382? This trend line is nothing, right? You've got to be looking at the lows. I mean, it's clearly that low there is the most significant low. These lows here are not significant at all. Again, seeing the bigger picture by zooming out will allow you to see horizontal support and resistance lines, rather than just saying, well, there's that high there and that low there. It might be a horizontal support line, but it's of no major significance. But the biggest thing we're not seeing is buying intention. You've got clear selling, even selling in this bar here and selling there. Where are the buyers? We need to see the buying intention. And that's why I don't think it was a right trade to do by getting in above this bar here, because it's still a lower high, lower low at this point in time. Not that you did, but some others have got in above this bar here, and we're still in the downtrend. There was no signal at this stage that the buyers were going to be about. But after this bar, okay, we now have buying intention, right? And we've got a high, 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 low. So you're not seeing that in your chart. So I think there's a bit more work to be done there yet. Okay. Okay. Just a couple of emails of questions. You've wanted to talk about BK Investments, wasn't it? Somebody's asked me about these guys. Never heard of them. BK Asset Management. Never heard of these guys. FX Insights, Market Outlook, has the Aussie made a top. I don't know who these people are. Never heard of them. They certainly, their website certainly indicates that they've got a whole bunch of support behind them. And I'd say they've got a whole bunch of support in terms of money, but there's only 2 people in there. There's only 2 people in this business, these two. And whilst they started dailyfx.com, well, she's certainly a go-getter, this girl. Yeah, I certainly do have a fabulous geez, I bet you these guys are happy about that. That they were still being employed by FXCM and starting these guys. And look, they certainly have very high-end, what I call it, history. What I'm trying to say is they've, what do you call it, CV. So I haven't written a CV in years, but they've got to obviously come with great kudos, but I've never heard of them. So there was a question of they have a newsletter that you might be interested in. So if you guys are interested in that newsletter, then yeah, you can subscribe to them. So that's one question. They are slick marketing, yes. This is the checklist from the journal. Also been meaning to ask about the US dollar. US dollar chart sentiment is only expressed as across the majors. Is there a chart that expresses the US dollar sentiment as a standalone currency? Yeah, look, you can get the dollar index in a chart, you know, from various different areas. It's traded as a futures contract. It's traded as a futures contract with a few other brokers. Here's one. This is the dollar index, right? And its template also seems to be friggin' annoying. So there's the dollar index this is the US dollar, which you can, it's a basket of currencies. Another place to find it is, you know, if you go to, if we go to stock charts, eSignal has it as well. It might be on a delay. Yeah, so if you come in here, you'll see dollar index. Where'd you go? US dollar. There we go. There's the dollar index, and it looks pretty similar to that. What? That, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah, so you can trade it with some brokers, but you can't do it with Axie, and you might be able to do it with Axie, I don't know. Certainly not on your prop, they don't give you access to it. Okay, all right, back to emails. They were both with GFT before FXEM. Cool. Move clients. Okay. For long-term trade prospective, only pairs with positive swaps are worthy of this. In order to, no, you should be tricked. You know, doing carry trades is one strategy, but you shouldn't be looking at saying, well, I'm going to take this trade only because it's got a long swap, or I'm not going to take this trade because the swap's going to hurt me. You should be looking for the trade on the technical analysis if you believe it fundamentally and technically it's the right thing to do, and forget about the swap. Okay. And an email, accidentally opened cable long, closed straight away for 50-cent loss. Couldn't hold it open because I didn't enter with the proper buy stop and analysis, even though it was thought to be the right direction. It was a slip of the finger. Looks good this week though. Okay. Yeah, cool. That is it for the for today's session. A nice hour and a half. Yeah. We shall see you again tomorrow at 10 o'clock, where there will obviously be less emails to go through. I was suffering webinar withdrawal. You're good now? Okay, mate, thanks. Right, yeah. I shall talk to you again tomorrow, and I look forward to that moment in time. Ciao, guys.